I'm Lin.
And I'm Leo. Welcome back to our 30 days of yoga.
Yes, this is day 16, and if you're joining us for the first time today, get on your mat. We're starting in Adho Mukha Virasana.
Before we start, can I just
yes.
remind you, you're going to need same equipment as you had yesterday, which is a sturdy chair and either a yoga belt or a tie or a cord or something like that.
Okay, so starting in Adho Mukha Virasana, so you'll be familiar with this if you've been following the channel and the classes. Sitting back onto your heels, remember that this is a forward action, and when you come forward, see that you're not leading with your abdomen. The abdomen's got to draw back towards the spine as you extend forward. Good. So just take a few moments to see that you get the broadness in the lower back region. And this can be achieved from lifting the abdomen and broadening from the front body. The abdomen in yoga, we talk about this a lot, the abdominal area. It's about 3 inches underneath the navel, so be sure that you're actually moving very much at the base of the abdominal area. Extending the arms, as you can see here, Leo has nice straight arms and she's extending those arms. And the reason for this is that although this is a preparational stage, it's the beginning of your practice, but also we're priming the body for the next pose. And our next pose is our dog pose, but when we come into this, you have to be sure that you're supporting the body well and the arms are nice and straight. So in Adho Mukha Virasana, because we're active and preparing, then the elbows need to be really nice and straight, wrists need to be extended towards the hands, the upper arms pulling back into the sockets. Very important action. So we come for Adho Mukha Svanasana, dog head down. Do you see Leo here? She's just preparing. And this stage is really a good stage to just focus and observe what's going on in your body. Now what you don't want to do is drop your abdomen out towards the floor. Can you see this? No. You have to see that you lift the abdomen so it's supporting the spine so that you'll be able to extend it when you're in your Adho Mukha Svanasana, tucking your toes under and coming up. Okay, so you probably can't see the video now because you will be in this position, but just listen to the instruction. So plant down very strongly with the palms and reach through the arms. See that the extension comes from the shoulders all the way through towards the waist. So you have to see that there's some broadness in the shoulder area. And remember what we were saying in the previous video with Urdhva Hastasana, the direction of the arms. But to see that you rotate those arms nicely from the inside out. Go on extending through the abdomen towards the buttocks. And when you get to this stage and you're extending the spine very well, then push those thighs back and keep the weight strongly in the back body. We're coming for Uttanasana now. So bending your knees and either jumping or walking the feet towards the hands. Be in this position. Okay, pulling up your kneecaps and thighs. So if you're just joining us for the first time today, this could be quite a challenging action. Either put your hands onto the shins if it's difficult with the hamstrings and the legs. Maintain that extension throughout the front body and the spine. If your spine starts to look like this is not the right action. You need to take your hands either to a chair so that you can get this nice extension again. Okay, so be fairly precise with your adjustments and the extension. Come into your Uttanasana wherever you are, whether it's on a chair, on a couple of bricks with your hands, on your shins or on your thighs. So remember how we've worked in previous videos, coming to your action, your pose. It may be that you can fold yourself deeply into your Uttanasana action. Don't force the body, don't push the body, just come to those boundaries and release. So you have to release mentally and physically. It's not just a physical action. We have to engage on a mental level as well to release some of those difficult areas within the body. and just coming into your Uttanasana. So this is quite an extreme action for a complete beginner. As you can see with Leo, she's folding herself in and there's length in the abdomen. Don't worry if this is not coming at this stage. Soft inhalation, soft exhalation. Okay, so we're going to come out of Uttanasana now. So lift your abdomen, put your hands onto your pelvis, and then come up. Good. And if you're a beginner, you'll find that quite challenging to get that abdominal action and that awareness. Well, coming for Utkatasana, now we're repeating this, we practiced this yesterday, so coming back to Utkatasana, reaching your arms up, extending up through the arms, and now hinging at the knees and the ankles bent. Utkatasana, the translation is chair pose, so you've got to come back as if you're sitting on a chair. So be careful you don't overuse the lower back region. Draw in from the abdomen and keep this as if, this area as if it is a breaking point. It's your wall. You have to see the abdomen draws back towards the bony structure. Be in this position. Lift through the front body, lift through the arms. Soft inhalation, exhalation. Not going to stay too long. Take a breath in and come up. Keep in Urdhva Hastasana. Remember what I was saying about the arms earlier on? And yesterday we mentioned this. So be sure that you're getting this opening so the trapezius muscles open really nicely. Take a few breaths. Soft inhalation and exhalation. Don't forget about your base, and ground down strongly from the base and lift through the pelvis up towards your chest. And releasing the arms down. Okay, so we're coming for Uttita Hasta, taking the leg to the side. So we touched on the forward action yesterday, and today we're going to be touching on the side action. And of course, we're working towards being able to do this in the centre of the room, which is really quite challenging. So do you want to put the chair on the mat?
Yes. It's a good point, because you don't want the chair sliding away from you. So particularly if you've got a slippery floor, put the front legs of the chair onto the mat. I'll do this side with my back here, because it's quite nice to see.
Yes, absolutely. All right, so feet facing forward and have your strap, and then you're going to be taking the leg out to the side, so it's an outward rotation and taking the heel up. So it might be that this is quite challenging, taking the heel onto the bar of the chair. You can always put a blanket or a yoga mat over the top of the chair, which will broaden the surface of the framework. When you're in this position, you just have to make sure that the legs are nice and straight. Both legs are strong because they're supporting you. And ultimately what we're looking for is this defined action in the pelvis, in the hip area, and this crease needs to deepen its imprint without dropping the hips. So you've got to really work strongly on that. Placing the belt around the foot. I'll help you out here. All right, so we're familiar with some of the poses. If you've been following us on our channel, you'll be familiar with Trikonasana. And this is really sort of an elevated action of that. So you've got to make sure that back leg is strong, which is your standing leg, but also this outer greater trochanter, this outer thigh, outer hip region needs to move deeply in towards the front thigh. That's it. And then the length needs to come in the back of the pelvis. You need to release. You can see how much that is releasing. It's a very, very strong action. So get that, because eventually you're going to be able to get this length to be able to lift the leg up independently in the centre of the room. So go and see that you lift your chest nicely, you're rolling your shoulders back and down. Good. You can take your back arm out to the side. This can also be very useful and helpful with your stability. And lift through the front body and breathe, of course. So you can repeat this several times on each side. We're going to come out of this side now and come to using the other leg. So turning around, you'll be able to see Leo's face now, which will be really nice. Okay. All right, so take in your right leg or your left leg, depending on which one you started with. Doesn't matter as long as you do both of them. Alright, so taking the belt around. Good.
You might have to lasso the belt to get it onto the foot, particularly if your chair is not very stable.
Yes, good. So again, I'm just going to stand behind Leo here. So you have to see that all of this area opens nicely. So we come to this in our standing poses in Trikonasana and also in the angle poses, Virabhadrasana 2, Virabhadrasana, Parsvakonasana. So the groin has got to extend. You've got to extend the energy towards the inner knee area. And to get that connection, you have to see that you move this outer hip in strongly. It's got to move in very strongly. You see the rotation coming now. Yes, that opens, and here the back body, as we explained on the previous slide, it's got to become heavy, this pelvis. It's got to move towards the leg side strongly, lifting your sternum chest, be in this position. So remember, this is preparation, priming the body for the classic pose. So it may be you're in this position for several months, several years, or many years, we don't know, depending on how much connection and the sensitivity of your practice depending. Okay, so just breathe in, soft inhalation, exhalation. And then releasing the leg down. Good. So it may be that you practice the Utthita Hasta Padangusthasana several times. You may want to bring in the forward facing action that we practiced yesterday. You know, you can work with this. We're going to come down to sitting now. And we're coming into the Sukhasana twisting action. So sitting up nicely, pulling the buttock flesh away from the buttock bones. Now, if your knees are really high, like this, then you're going to need to have some support underneath your buttocks, because the legs will not get that message to move down towards the floor side. Moving the abdominal area towards the spine. You're going to be turning to your right side first. So taking your left hand to the outer right thigh. Good. So you saw with Leo there, she reached up with the arm, which is really nice, and getting that rotation, and then taking the hand down. And taking the back hand behind, lifting up, and twisting, and twisting, and twisting, and turning. Breathe. Get that length through the spine, through the front body. And now release in. And coming to the other side. Reaching up, getting that turning, turn, and then taking the hand and lifting, using that hand as a fulcrum to really get that nice lift through the body. Soft breath. And then release in.
Could I just say that you can see the difference here between Lin and myself in terms of where the hips are. So I would suggest that if you're at my level, or your knees are even higher, sit up on something. I mean, if I had something with me, if I'd remembered to bring something with me, I would have sat up a little higher for this pose. You know, in order to get this level of opening in the hips, you need to sit a little higher so that the groins can release.
Yes, and also to bring a stability to your pose, because otherwise you feel as if you're going to be falling back because the groins are not lengthening enough to keep you upright. And that's the design of our bodies, really, isn't it? You know, we spend our lives kind of tightening that frontal hip area in our everyday life through sitting for long periods of time. And you know,
and that's sitting in chairs, not sitting on the floor. So, you know, when you can,
yes,
sit on the floor, and you won't be able to see from this angle, but actually Lin is sitting on the backs of her thighs and the gluteal creases, rather than onto the back of the sitting bones and the tailbone, which when you start in yoga, quite often you're sitting right back onto,
Yeah.
onto the base of the spine, aren't you?
Yes, and if I can just also mention that our 30-day Get Up and Go is really about getting the body moving, and it doesn't matter about stiffness. You practice yoga because you want to become more mobile.
Absolutely. And the great thing about doing this 30 days is that it will be disciplining you into a regular habit of getting even if it's only a short yoga practice in, that's that mental discipline is really important.
It is introducing that mindset, which is really key. And the poses that we are practicing through this 30-day Get Up and Go are basic poses, even though you may find some of them quite challenging. They are a very good foundation to your practice.
Quite. So we hope you enjoyed us joining us today, and hopefully we'll see you tomorrow too. So namaste.
Namaste.